Good morning, students. Welcome to Chanakya Academy online classes, Standard 10th English Medium, subject Science. Yes, so we have started with hypothalamus gland. Let's move further. What is the main function of hypothalamus gland? Okay, so let's see. The hypothalamus is a portion of a brain that contain a number of small nuclei with a variety of functions. One of the most important function of hypothalamus is to link the nervous system to the endocrine gland via a pituitary gland. Okay, now listen here very carefully. This thing is not given in your NCERT and they have not explained it very well. So just listen here very carefully. Now we have done hypothalamus. We have seen where this hypothalamus is present. Now this hypothalamus is linked, okay, with your pituitary gland, which is an endocrine gland. Okay, how it is linked? So one of the most important function of hypothalamus is to link the nervous system. Okay, hypothalamus is linked the nervous system to the endocrine system via pituitary gland. Okay, so hypothalamus is connected by pituitary gland through nervous system. Okay, and this is a way where nervous system will now be changed, or we can say will activate the endocrine system. Okay, ultimately see what we want the hormones to be released from these areas. Okay, but we need a messenger. That messenger will activate the gland to release the hormone. Okay, so hypothalamus will send the message to pituitary gland, okay, which is an endocrine system, to release a hormone from the pituitary. Okay, so how this activation is done? With nervous system. Okay, so from the hypothalamus, okay, from hypothalamus it will send the message to pituitary gland to release hormone. How it will send? Through nervous system. Okay, and this pituitary gland is what? Your endocrine gland. Okay, understood. Now let's see one more thing. Hypothalamus link the nervous and endocrine system by way of pituitary gland. Okay, so it is activating pituitary gland. And what are the function of hypothalamus? Its function is to secrete releasing hormone and inhibiting hormone that stimulate or inhibit production of hormone in the anterior pituitary. Now see what they are talking about. You have hypothalamus. Okay, what you have? You have hypothalamus and you have pituitary gland. Hypothalamus will give message to pituitary gland to release hormone. Okay, so now what they will do? Hypothalamus will release a hormone. Okay, so when it is activating it, we will call it as stimulating hormone because it will release the hormone. Okay, so that is releasing hormone, so that to release the hormone. So we call it as stimulate because it will stimulate to release hormone. Okay, and now we do not want these hormones. So what will do? Again hypothalamus will activate pituitary to stop releasing. So inhibit the hormone to stop the hormone. Okay. So when we want the hormone, stimulating hormone or releasing hormone will be activated. When we do not want the hormone, message should be sent so that to stop the production of hormone. So that will be inhibiting hormone. So again one more hormone will be sent, that is inhibiting hormone, and that will stop the production. Okay, understood? Let's read again one more. The hypothalamus links the nervous system and endocrine system by the way of pituitary gland. Its function is to secrete releasing hormone. Okay, what it will secrete? Releasing hormone. And what second thing is inhibiting hormone that stimulate. So releasing hormone will stimulate and inhibit hormone will inhibit. Okay, production of hormones in the anterior pituitary. Understand now? So this is the way how hypothalamus and pituitary are linked. Let's see some of the hormones which are produced by hypothalamus. Okay, so the hormones produced in hypothalamus are corticotropin releasing hormone, okay, dopamine, growth hormone releasing hormone, somatostatin, gonadotropin releasing hormone, and thyrotropin releasing hormone. Okay, now see here. These are the hormones, okay, which are released through hypothalamus. Okay, cortico-releasing hormone, dopamine, growth hormones, somatostatin, gonadotropin, and thyrotropin releasing hormone. All these are hormones which are produced in hypothalamus, and they will activate pituitary gland to release hormone, and pituitary gland will release their hormone. What they will release, that we will see later on. Our main focus here is hypothalamus. So my point of view is that all these are releasing hormone. That means they will stimulate pituitary to release the hormone. Okay, what are these? These are stimulating hormones that will stimulate pituitary gland. Okay, but now if we want to stop these hormones to produce more hormone, so what we will do? We will now shift from releasing hormone to inhibiting hormone. So now what the name will be? Corticotropin inhibiting hormone, dopamine inhibiting hormone, growth hormone inhibiting hormone, somatostatin, then gonadotropin inhibiting hormone, and thyrotropin inhibiting hormone. Okay, so wherever we are having releasing, in case of or in place of releasing, we will now write inhibiting. So now it will stop the production of these hormones. Okay, understood about hypothalamus? Now let's move towards pituitary gland. Pituitary gland, as I told you, they are present in brain part. Okay, and they are activated by hypothalamus. This pituitary is basically consists of two lobes, the anterior lobes and posterior lobes. Let's see. Yes, now let's see. I'll show you what exactly it is. This is your pituitary gland, okay, and this is hypothalamus. Okay, so hypothalamus is sending the message towards pituitary. So you can see the blood vessels, okay, and you can see releasing hormone from hypothalamus. So hypothalamus is releasing the hormones, okay, and it is released into the blood streams, and it is going towards pituitary. Now see, pituitary, as I told you, it is having two lobes. You can see green lobe and yellow lobe. Okay, so we have anterior pituitary and we have posterior pituitary. So just see, first we will see about anterior pituitary, which is given in your yellow color. So you can see that the blood, okay, is carrying the hormone. Okay, you can see the dot dot which is shown here, it is round in color. Okay, so hypothalamus is releasing the hormone and it is going to the anterior pituitary. Okay, now it will change into pituitary hormones. Okay, so hypothalamus has given the releasing hormone to pituitary, and now it has changed into pituitary hormones. Okay, and now this pituitary, they will release different hormones. See the picture which I told you to learn about the male and female body parts, about the endocrine glands. Just remember them. Okay, you had hypothalamus. Okay, you had pituitary, then you have thymus. Okay, adrenal gland you had testes, ovary. Okay, all that part. So now from all that parts, different hormones will be released. So first what it will do, the pituitary will take these hormones towards their own regions. Okay, I'll show you the diagram first. With that you will be clear. Yes, so I think so you have learned this diagram. Now see the hypothalamus you can see and pituitary you can see. So hypothalamus has released the hormones towards pituitary. Now it's the pituitary to release the hormones, and that hormones will go to the specific site. Okay, where it will go? It will go to thyroid gland, it will go to thymus, adrenal gland, it will go to testes, it will go to ovaries. Okay, and they will activate these glands. Okay, again see what are they? They are the glands, and these glands will release some other hormones. Okay, so how it is? Hypothalamus will activate pituitary. Pituitary will go and distribute towards the various different organs. Okay, and they will release their own hormones. Okay, so pituitary is releasing hormones, that is going into pituitary gland. Pituitary gland will now release some hormones, some different hormones, and that hormone through the blood circulation it will go to the specific organs. Okay, and that organs will now release their hormones, and it will activate that glands. Okay, now let's come to the previous. Okay, now see, now you are clear with that picture. Now see here, so pituitary hormone which you can see here, they will activate the hormones like TSH, that is thyroid stimulating hormone. Again they will release two type. Okay, stimulating and activating. Okay, stimulating and inhibiting. Okay, so they will go to the specific site like thyroid, adrenal cortex, testes or ovary. Okay, growth hormones, then prolactin that is present in the mammary glands. Okay, and endomorphins. So what are these? These are the areas. So your pituitary hormones will go into the thyroid glands, and where they will activate the thyroid gland. Okay, so what these hormones will be? They will release TCH as the hormone. Okay, like we did in hypothalamus. So hypothalamus there released so many. Okay, so now it will go towards their original organs. Okay, so if the pituitary hormone is going towards adrenal cortex, it will be called as ACTH. Okay, no need to learn this because I think so it is not given, but just have idea what are the main function of your hypothalamus and pituitary. Okay, so what this pituitary hormone will release? They will release hormones like TCH, ACTH, FSH, LH, GH, PRL and endomorphin. Okay, and these hormones will be activating the specific organs. Okay, and these activated hormones like I'll tell you like pituitary gland. Okay, it is activated by hypothalamus. Okay, hypothalamus has activated pituitary gland. Now this pituitary gland will release thyroxine stimulating hormone. Okay, it will stimulate, and what it will stimulate? It will stimulate thyroid hormone to release its hormones. Okay, the thyroid gland will release its hormone. Okay, So TSH is the stimulating hormone which will activate thyroid gland, and that thyroid gland will release the hormones. So they will perform their own activities. Okay, let's see this one more example, that is the pituitary gland will release growth hormones. Okay, and it will go where this hormone will go, it will go to your entire body. Okay, you know that till a certain age your height is increasing. Okay, from the first day of your born to certain age your height is increasing. So how it is increasing? Because from the pituitary hormones. Okay, listen here, from the hypothalamus continuously growth hormones are be released to your pituitary, and from pituitary they are releasing growth hormones. Okay, that is GH, and that hormone is going to your entire body. It is distributed through blood, and your height is increasing day by day. Okay, when you are 1 year old, 2 year old, 5 year old, 10 year old, 12 year, 15 year, 20 years, okay, till that continuously growth hormone will be released into your bloodstream. After that we know that our height will be fixed after 25 years. Okay, maximum 25. After that, our height will not increase. How it is not increasing? Because now inhibiting hormone will act. Okay, so inhibiting hormone will stop the production of growth hormones. And how it will come? It will come from hypothalamus. So hypothalamus will release inhibiting hormones towards pituitary, and pituitary will stop the production of growth hormones. And after that you will not increase in your height. Okay, so stimulating hormone will stimulate your production of growth hormones, and your height will increase. After certain age, inhibiting hormone will released, and it will stop the production of growth hormone. Understood? So this is the way how your hormones are being managed by hypothalamus and pituitary. Okay, so both of them are the controlling unit where they are controlling your mechanism either by stimulating or releasing it or by inhibiting it. Okay, so this is about pituitary hormone. Now let's see what is given in your NCERT. Let us examine some example to understand how hormones help in coordinated growth. Okay, we have all seen salt packets which say iodized salt or enriched with iodine. Why it is important for us to have iodized salt in our diet? Iodine is essential for the thyroid gland to make thyroxine hormone. Thyroxine regulates carbohydrate, protein, and fat metabolism in the body so as to produce the best balance for growth. Iodine is essential for the synthesis of thyroxine. In case iodine is deficient in our diet, there is a possibility that we might suffer from goiter. One of the symptoms in this disease is a swollen neck. You can correlate this with the position of thyroid gland. Okay, see, they have given another example. They are talking about thyroid gland. Okay, so from the hypothalamus, now it is going to pituitary. From pituitary, it is going to thyroid gland. See, thyroid gland is again your endocrine gland. So, pituitary will activate your thyroid gland, and what it will produce? It will produce thyroxine. Okay, so thyroxine is your hormone. Now understood what I was telling you on the previous lectures? Okay, so iodine is very essential in our diet because this thyroxine which is produced, okay, it regulates your metabolism, that is the breakdown of carbohydrate, protein, and fat is done by thyroxine. Okay, and how this thyroxine will be formed? With the help of iodine. Okay, so that is why iodine is very essential in our diet. Understood? Hypothalamus will activate pituitary gland. Pituitary gland will now go in, will release the hormone and will activate the thyroid gland to produce hormone known as thyroxine. Thyroxine will break, or we can say regulate, the metabolism of carbohydrate that will give us energy. But formation or synthesis of thyroxine is done with the help of iodine, which we are taking in our diet. But if we are not getting iodine in our diet, thyroxine will not be formed, and as a result, we may suffer from goiter. Okay, which is having swollen neck. Understood? So, with this, I end today's lecture. Just make a proper note of hypothalamus and pituitary, which I have made you show. Okay, just have few idea about what exactly is hypothalamus, pituitary, how both of them are functioning, and what are the hormones released by them. Okay, so with this, I end today's lecture. Thank you and have a nice day.